It's that most wonderful time of the year that people are running up high energy bills trying to heat their house. And on Facebook and YouTube, you get all these adverts for the energy saver plugs that you simply plug into a socket and you will cut your electricity bill to a fraction of what it was. They are fake. But anyway, let's take a look at this one. So we'll analyze it first and then we'll open it up. So here is the anti-unit, which is better at resolving terrible power factors, which is what this unit will probably have. And we'll plug in this plug, which is a UK plug, non-compatible size. It has the sleeved earth pin, which is naughty, so we'll plug it into this depth adapter, which also has a sleeved earth pin, and then we'll plug it in here. It is in, and it is glowing visibly a dull green at the bottom, very stylish. That means it's working and saving you power apparently. And if you look at the display here, we'll see that it's showing about 26 milliamps, which is quite high. Terrible power factor of 0.041, but a power of only 0.2 watts. Now, that actually suggests there's not even a capacitor in it anymore, other than the one used to power the LEDs. It's usually a much higher current than that, just because they do have a big capacitor across it. But we shall open it up, and we'll take a look at the circuitry, and we'll see if it's as bad as it's always been. So there is a screw under here. Let's just get the finger down. Well, let's just shove a screwdriver through it, in fact. Is this going to work? Yes, it is. Here is the screw that holds it shut. So these are often sold with sub-stories. Well, there's a capacitor type thing. It's got lots, well, it's not got much resin. It's a big box half filled with resin. And the circuit board there has a little capacitive dropper. It's got a little transient suppressor, so they could say that's what it's doing. It's filtering your main supply. Let's take this out. And where are the LEDs? Where are the LEDs? Where are the LEDs hiding? Am I just being dumb by not? Oh, there they are. They're tiny LEDs. They're on the back of the circuit board. Okay, tell you what. I shall reverse engineer this for our entertainment. And I shall also, well, check this capacitor out. We'll check the capacitor out right now, in fact. So, is that pad connected to anything? Anyway, let's cut this off. This is the capacitor. And we'll get a capacitance meter. And we'll put it on the capacitance meter. And we'll see what value it is. If it has a value at all. If it's not got a value, we'll open it up regardless. Is it holding a super duper charge? No. That's because it's either a very, very tiny capacitor or nothing at all. Where is a meter? A dedicated capacitance meter this time. Let's zoom down onto that. So let's be optimistic and say it could be 2 microfarad. It could be 20 microfarad. One lead on here. One lead on here. Nothing. 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 There's nothing in there. Right, tell you what, let's open it up. We shall get the fingers, apparently, and we'll just snap our way in here. Sorry if that's making huge, loud noises. And we'll see how much is resin, how much is sand to pack it up and save money. I may pause temporarily because this could take a while to nibble through their resin that is also making huge noises. One moment, please. Just a little sprinkling of sand at the bottom, a layer of resin. Normally they fill this thing right up with sand and then put the resin on top. Maybe they wanted to save weight, but the wires are just basically dipped into that resin and that's it. It is a fake capacitor. Okay. Now comes the circuit board. Let's reverse engineer and see what amazing circuitry there is on this time, because usually the circuitry on the LED PCBs is terrible. One moment, please. Reverse engineering is complete. Let's explore. I shall zoom down onto the circuit board. Maybe a bit over-zoomed, but that's good enough. We have the incoming supply at the bottom here. We have a fuse in line, 3.15 amp slow blow fuse. We've got a metal oxide varistor as a token gesture towards, purifying the supply, and a 470k resistor across the supply, which is kind of a way to implement this sort of anti-tingle feature for the dropper capacitor. The dropper capacitor is 300 nanofarad, 330 nanofarad, 630 volt, and it rations the current through in each half cycle to the bridge rectifier. There's a smoothing capacitor, a just shunt resistor, and then a resistor and LED on each side across the positive and negative rail. Very inefficient. The fused supply also goes to one lead of the fake capacitor, but the other lead just goes onto a blank pad. If it had been a real capacitor, if it had been in use, they could have actually put a link here, but they didn't. And it doesn't matter, it's a fake capacitor anyway. Let's take a look at the schematic. It's not a very complex schematic. I'll zoom down even further because it's quite small. So there's the AC supply coming in. There's a fuse on one leg. It depends how they wire it. It depends on which way the plug's put in, I suppose, ultimately, depending if you have a polarized plug. There is a metal oxide varistor, which has, where is it? Let me just give you the ratings on the metal oxide varistor. It is a 07D471. That means it's a 7mm diameter disc with a rating of 470 volt. I shall just say 7mm, 470 volt. There is the 470k resistor across here, which does have the effect of basically shunting it out, making sure that you can't get a tingle off the pins from this capacitor, which is a thing that can happen with capacitive droppers. The 630 volt rating is very generous. They've kind of made this universal. If you do run it on 110 or 120 volts, it'll be dimmer. The green LEDs will not be as bright. There's a 100 microfarad 25 volt capacitor. There is a seemingly pointless shunt resistor trying to keep the voltage across that down. And they could have used one resistor and they could have put two LEDs in the series and it would have been brighter. They could even put 3 LEDs in the series. The fact they've run them individually is kind of, I suppose it means if an LED goes open circuit and the voltage starts creeping up, that capacitor might go pop. And it might be protected by the other one, but it's just they're running at such low current, it's pointless. I would have possibly used a 100 nanofarad capacitor for this. Put that 510 ohm resistor here for inrush limiting, and then just put one resistor and a string of LEDs across that, maybe 3, just for extra brightness. But that is it. There's the fake cap with its live or neutral connection, the other end just connected to nothing. But that is it. So yes, they've dumbed it down. The fake capacitor, it's the first time I've had one with a completely fake capacitor. I've had some that they have a tiny capacitor inside it. Others that it's been a big capacitor, but it's only had one leg connected or one of the leads just cut off. But this is the first time it's been the full-on sand-filled fake capacitor. But there we have it. The scam is still going strong. I wonder how long that's been around. This case, incidentally, is used for the fake insect repellers and the fake ionizers as well. It's used for all the fake products. Nice enough case. Shame that the pins aren't really compliant with the standard for sizing. But there we have it. It's the same as it always is. Or as the Chinese say, Shi Sheng Shui. Idiot tax. Not a nice thing, but it happens, and it's apparently very lucrative.